This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Tonight we're joined by Liam Smith's trainer Joe McNally down here after the weigh-in today. Joe, first and foremost, first time me and you have spoken on camera. How are you?
It is, yeah. I'm good. Fine. Custy.
That's good to hear. Now, one place to start that weigh-in got very interesting very quickly. We saw the drama. We've seen words between you and Shane McGuigan and Liam as well. Can you just try and explain to us what was going on up there?
Yeah, it was a load of bollocks, really. It was, Liam was sort of, bang on the weight, and he was a touch over, and then he had to take his underpants off. There was a lot of people on the stage. It didn't really help, with Shane being an experienced coach that he is, jumping up and down and playing a bit of a game on the stage. But, Liam had to have the towel. The scales went a bit light. The actual platform is very movable, and we lodged a complaint with the board just before it. And basically that was it. There was a little bit of imbalance, a lot of movement on the stage, and Shane was, I had my foot sort of by the scales, which I had an official to the left of me, security to the right, and they, obviously clarified his feet are nowhere near the scales, and then he said, "You've got your hands on them." I was like, but it's still, I don't know if it's, a bit of psyche trying to use his own experience, but look, it's just a flash in the pan to me. Yeah, I couldn't really care. That's all it was, really. Yeah.
I asked Liam about this yesterday, people questioning desire and sort of putting that down as a positive for Anthony Fowler and maybe questioning his desire at times. Have you seen him really get the bit between his teeth? I know he hasn't taken them comments particularly well from people going into this fight.
Yeah, it's what is desire? What is desire in the sport of boxing? If it's prize fighting, you're fighting for money. You're fighting for your livelihood, you're fighting for your future, It's just a matter of principle that the belts bring the money, so, if you're a world champion, etc., unless it's, a build-up of a fight, hence this situation, you're going to get good wages, but, whatever you fight for, that desire has got to be there. Now, in my opinion, Liam's desire is, whether it's to be another crack at world championship, it's for his future of his family. He's got 2 young daughters, one only born a couple of weeks ago. Hence, that's why he's been living on his own the past month. That's his desire, to cement their future. That means more to that man than any championship belt or anything else. And, I haven't just come into Liam's life as a coach. Can I come to you and team up? I was a fighter with Liam, myself, in the same camp with the great Georgie Vaughan, sparred many rounds with him as a baby, as budding professionals ourselves, and also with Joe Gallagher, always in the gym. I was making our own decision to train with Joe Gallagher and myself as a fighter. I know Liam inside out, and I know what makes him ticks, and I also know when, he's not pulling his weight and is messing about. He's an experienced man, but he's the ultimate professional. He leaves no stone unturned, and I'm really, really happy with the work he's done. Yeah, really am.
Yesterday at the press conference, you were talking about Anthony Fowler skipping the queue at the Chippy to get a fight like this, which turned a few heads. Now the fight is here, though, it's all agreed. This is the fight in front of you. What does Anthony Fowler do well?
He does a lot of things well. I personally think Anthony Fowler is a tremendous fighter. I think he is a middleweight. I don't really think he's a 154 fighter. It affects his performances. I think he stayed amateur a little bit too long, in my opinion. I think he was with a fantastic, one of the country's best in Dave Colwell. We shouldn't have left Dave, that's my opinion. But credit where it's due. Shane has adjusted him in certain aspects of his game, which against his lower calibre opposition has, proven to be good. He punches really hard. He's a big, strong man. A little bit one-dimensional, but look, he's a live fighter and he's going to come to win. And we've prepared for every scenario in the book. If he's going to box, he's going to box. He's going to fight, he's going to fight. Whatever game plan. Liam's an experienced man. We've run over things in the gym, and we're really, really confident. Definitely.
We've seen what Liam's about over the years, a very accomplished pressure fighter. How do you think Anthony will deal with that tomorrow when Liam's tucked up and coming forwards? And how do you think that'll affect him going at the back end of the fight as well?
Yeah, there's a lot of say on, Fowler could do Liam early, Liam would do him late, this, that and the other. I just think it's, who imposes the will and game plan first and foremost, and who holds better down the stretch with the nerves. In that aspect, it's in Liam Smith's favour. Only time will tell with Tony. I think he performed well against Scott Fitzgerald. A lot of people have given the man a lot of abuse, but Scott's a tremendous fighter, and he just come up short. He suffered. But my argument with the whole situation is Troy Williams, Kieran Conway, Ted Cheeseman, Sergio Garcia, Sissoko, the French kid who's with. I think Anthony should have really fought a lot of them, and there was a load of bullshit that I'm the machine. A lot of fighters, they all never accepted the fight, but I know different. Well, I got clarification yesterday. Eddie notified me Cheeseman didn't want the fight. Kieran Conway accepted it, and the rest of them haven't been offered the fight. So it's a little bit of phony baloney there, isn't it?
Tomorrow night, I spoke to Liam about this as well. Not only is there some huge nights awaiting the winner of this fight, but there's a lot of pride at stake for the city as well. How big is this fight for Liverpool, if you can try and explain it?
Most definitely, it's to Liam Smith, it's like going for a roast dinner. He's a very, very experienced man. I cannot vouch for Tony Fowler. He hasn't really been in this situation before. I've had a little tiny mini local derby myself on my 7th professional fight, and there was a lot of pressure in that. It's the pride, as Liam states. You don't want to walk around, you got your ass kicked off him, and him, and man was nowhere near this magnitude of Liam's, and that's also got Liam. Liam's like, there's no way I can lose against him, no way, but look, it's boxing and anything can happen, but Liam's prepared right, and I'm really, really confident in the man. Yes.
If he does walk away victorious on Saturday night, I know he's previously agreed to fight Tim too over there. We know who holds the belt at the minute. Obviously, we've got Charlo and Castano and people like that. What fight would you guys want? What's the top priority if you do win?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk, and this was me, not arguments, but this was the point I was trying to get across yesterday at the presser. It's not being hot-headed. I know the mechanics behind boxing. We teamed up with Liam 3.5-4 weeks out for the Kubanov fight. There was no camp. It was, we'd had a couple of years out the ring. I'd made the weight in 3 years. We just sparred, really, run through a mini game plan, had a mini cycle camp, and then we went out there and fought. I think he edged the fight. This actual fight should be Kubanov. Kubanov priced himself out of the fight, put that on record. He wanted X amount of money, so the fight went on the wayside. Then they wanted us in Australia for Tim Tszyu, fantastic fighter, but they wanted us to quarantine for 2.5 weeks. He couldn't do it. Eddie called Liam's bluff with Tony Fowler. This happened. When he wins tomorrow, I really like Liam. Eddie's promised him the Jesse Vargas fight. We don't really want to look too ahead at that. If that fight materialises, that would be perfect for a push-on effect for either Castano, a rematch with Kubanov, or, you don't know what boxing is. It could get Charlo. Who knows? You don't really know. Yeah.
I believe Kurbanov's coming down here tomorrow. I think he's going to be ringside, so that fight would still be of interest if things changed that went wrong in the last negotiations.
Listen, I found Kubanov a really, really respectful man. Him as a little boy, little southpaw kid. I really like his whole demeanour. Al Siesta bringing Kubanov here, and Al's very good friends with Cheney McGuiggins, and it's a little bit disrespectful to Liam. I think it's the try and play his heart, but look, he never took the fight, so look, he can go fuck himself, can't he? It should be him here, and if Liam beats Fowler and they push him towards Vargas, as Kubanov says, is world boxing is in Yekaterinburg. If you want to stay there with your billionaire backer, stay there and be part of a circus act. That's his choice. At least Anthony Fowler has, gone, yeah, I'll fight Liam, let's go, and think, which, kudos, credit to the man. Yes, definitely.
Last one before I let you go, Joe. I did 10 minutes upstairs with David Price earlier on the news that he's retired from boxing. Just do it on Pricey. I know you know him very well. The man, David Price, and the fighter as well. A brilliant career to be proud of.
Oh, fantastic career. We teamed up for part 2 of his career. What a man, what a fighter. We had our ups and downs, but a few things I would have changed and done different. But look, he had a tremendous part 2 of his career. He had a few losses, you know, a lot of mechanics behind the scene is taking fights on a week notice and this 2 weeks notice to sure. And people don't see that, they just see the wins and the losses. But look, he's healthy, his faculties are intact, he's happy, he's got a beautiful family in Jade, young David and Katie. You know, he's in a good place, and I'm absolutely ecstatic and over the moon he's decided to retire. I really am, yeah.
All right, well, Joe, thank you for making time for Boxing Social. Best of luck tomorrow.